The question, therefore, is enough work being done to stop these types of attacks actually occurring with increasing in frequency?
Well, I think there's two different kinds of attacks going on, and I think they need to be addressed in different ways. So the democratization, if you like, of ransomware. I mean, if you look at these hacker forums, you see the like the professional pride of these hackers being hurt by the fact that kids now can just download and run these ransomware attacks. Those are you can defeat those by implementing basic cybersecurity measures, and most companies. Some companies have slipped up here and there with it, and well, that's their problem, really. But you have we've got all kinds of security technologies that people can put in place for this kind of when I log into my bank, I get a message on my phone and stuff like that. I think what's slightly more worrying is that underneath all this, there's a concern, I think that's pretty widely shared. You're also seeing attacks which are, I mean, many people think of them as being sort of the first shots in essentially a cyber war. So some of these are state actors that are probing the defenses and looking for areas where they can, severely impact our infrastructure. So we have to take it, I think, a lot more seriously than just saying, well, companies have to sort their own security out and do a little better. And I'm afraid that does ultimately mean some sort of government action and mandates.
Well, many of these ransomware actors are asking for payments, ransom payments in the form of cryptocurrencies. To what extent has the rise of cryptocurrencies also enabled increasing number of ransomware attacks?
Well, it's helped, because this decentralization of ransomware has been fundamentally enabled by crypto. Look, there used to be ransomware attacks in the old days, but they were few and far between. And to recover the ransoms meant wire transfers and bags of cash being dropped off in places. It wasn't scalable, and it wasn't as kind of anonymous. Although actually, we've seen from the FBI's recent activities, Bitcoin isn't as anonymous as people think. It's certainly true that cryptocurrencies are part of the problem. I'm not sure that banning cryptocurrencies would really be a solution. What we need to do is have proper security infrastructure in place.
Now, when it comes to solutions and that infrastructure that you just mentioned, cybersecurity is high up on the agenda of the G7 leaders. What kind of measures could we see agreed at an international level that could try to prepare for cyber attacks of the future?
I think we have to start tackling some of the fundamentals. So if the president and the prime minister, in between their discussions about sausages and whatever else is going on today, could find some time to talk about how to implement an international digital identity infrastructure, building on some of the announcements from the European Union a couple of weeks ago, we might get somewhere. Because at the moment we suffer greatly from the on the internet, no one knows you're a dog kind of thing, which has bedeviled us since the earliest days of the internet. Although, to be fair, on the internet, no one knows you're from the FBI either. And we did see the mass arrests of criminals this week because the FBI rather cleverly put a bogus encryption app out on the web. So there are new forms of policing that can work in that area. But we do have to tackle that missing identity layer. I can't help but see identity, which is absent from the web as it stands now, as a fundamental building block in those defenses for the cyber war that's coming. And we have certain cultural norms around identity, which I think we'd like to see it done our way, like the way our society wants, right, not the way technologists and so on want. So I hope what will be on their agenda is finally doing something about digital identity.